Welcome to the Genuine Driven Women podcast, the show where we guide women to reveal their strengths so they believe and can achieve their desired greatness. This is episode 2, and I am Tammy, along with my co-host, Adelaida. Today, we'd like to talk about some characteristics of high performers and how easy it is to become one of the high-performing people in your workplace.
We have a great show planned for you today. We are going to talk about 7 characteristics of a high performer.
Thank you, Adelaida. According to an Entrepreneur.com article, only 20% of any given workplace are high performers.
So if this is the case, just by improving on the characteristics we are going to share with you today, you can quickly rise to the top of your workplace.
Some examples I've seen, Adelaida, is when I was in the Navy, for instance, they tell you very specifically what is right and what is wrong. If you do these things, you will get promoted. If you want to look good in your uniform, it must look exactly this way.
Right.
And yet, there's a shocking amount of people who don't follow those very direct, simple steps. So if you just show up at work on time, you have your uniform and uniform regs, you are following the regulations, and you just try to do a pretty good job, you don't even have to be fantastic, you start to float up toward the top. And then if you really want to rise, then you figure out how to get promoted, and they give that there's very specific steps to do that. And then you follow that path. To me, the military is one of the most clearly laid out places where they have every single thing you need to do to succeed clearly laid out, and yet some people will not follow it.
Yeah.
So that's an example. What do you think have in places you've worked, the high performers has compared to just an average worker?
When I was waitressing, I noticed that, some people are trying to go above and beyond, whether or not being a waitress, you're not really getting promoted or demoted, but while you're in this workplace, you're trying to get tips, and ways to get tips are you're, consistently checking on the people that you're serving, making sure they're all right, making sure they don't need anything. And some of my coworkers would do the complete opposite, where they would just sit in the back on their phone and do the bare minimum just to get by. So they would get that $10 an hour, and they would still make tips, but it wasn't very much. But then there's other people that I had as coworkers, and they would go above and beyond and make sure that every little thing that the person needed that they were waiting on, they had it, which shows their work ethic and how hard of workers they are, and like they are high performers because they want to make sure that everything that they do is done right.
It's like they're focusing on excellence.
Exactly, and that's what they strive for.
Mm-hmm. And really, I think these tips can be used for any industry you're in. And they can be used really at any place you work. So if you want to rise to the top, a lot of people are not trying to rise. And if you are determined to rise, then these are some of the things you can do.
I completely agree.
So you basically have to be able to look at yourself and see what you do well already, and then the attributes that you can improve upon. This list here is just some attributes that many high-performing people have in spades.
So the first characteristic is they have their goals written down.
Yes. So this will include the steps they need to accomplish or to achieve these goals. So if you have a goal where you would like to save $10,000, then you would make a plan where you say, I'm going to put aside $100 every week until I have $10,000 saved.
Right.
If you would like to get a college degree, then you make a plan of the classes you need to take and lay them out across however many years in order to get your degree. Every big goal can be broken down into smaller goals.
Right.
So, and then also the key to actually completing them is to put these steps into your weekly and monthly task lists and even daily task lists, and make sure that you are working on these smaller steps toward your goal every single day, week, or month as appropriate.
Yeah, and I definitely do that. I have a planner that I keep that, right now I'm trying to get my degree in computer engineering. So my steps to go towards that are every day I write down what does my homework, what homework do I need to get done, and maybe I'll split that even further into, I can do 7 problems a day, and then I can study for an hour, and then the next day I'll do another 7 problems and study for another hour, rather than trying to, wait till the last minute. So I try to break it down like that. And then, from there, monthly goals are, what do I need to get done? Like, do I need to go talk to a counselor? Do I need to maybe apply for another internship? That kind of stuff that, for me, that's a monthly goal right now that I'm looking at towards my future for graduating with a degree.
Yeah, that's excellent. And I will say you are the queen of your planner.
Thank you. Thank you.
If anybody wants to see somebody who's doing their planner right, it's Adelaida.
Yes.
Okay. A high performer will compete with themselves, and they are constantly striving to accomplish one goal, but then also to make other goals and achieve even higher goals as you move on.
I definitely think that of this like a cross-country race where you focus on the runner in front of you until you pass them, and you focus on the next runner and pass that one too. Just one foot in front of the other, one step at a time in the same direction, completing tasks one by one.
Yeah, that's exactly it. It's just a race, and it's good if you're competing with yourself, but you can even look around at others and see if any of them are where you want to be, and try to catch up to them as well.
Yeah. So the second point is they have a strong work ethic.
I think that there might be nothing more important than having a strong work ethic.
Completely agree.
You could have the highest IQ there is, but if you're lazy, it's only going to get you so far. So good hard work will make up for a lot of other shortcomings. I think that in my life, my mother had a very strong work ethic, and you have a strong work ethic, and
so do you. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And that is one thing people have said about me, and I do think that sometimes I feel like I'm intelligent enough for whatever given task, but sometimes I have to really try hard to learn something, depending on the topic. And then sometimes I just work my rear end off and I still succeed. So, that's a good work ethic is really important.
Right. The third quality is they have a good attitude. This does not mean anyone needs to be happy all the time, though.
Oh my goodness, I completely agree with this. This does mean that they have the ability to offer others hope. They need to have a can-do reaction to hard tasks. So if somebody wants you to do something and it seems kind of overwhelming, some people are like, oh, it's so hard. But somebody with a positive attitude will be like, okay, let's give it a shot.
Yeah.
We can do this. We can get through this. If something's very hard, they might say, okay, here's what we're going to do instead. That didn't work, but here's what we can do now. And they lift people up rather than throwing out further negativity. They are a team player. They are not passive aggressive to others, and they are a simple joy to be around in the workplace. This kind of person is contagious and will raise the performance of the entire team.
Yeah.
Do you have any examples of a high performer and with a good attitude?
Yes, yeah. So one of my team captain, actually, whenever I was in high school for cross country, she had such a good attitude. Even if something was going on in her life where she, maybe was a little bit sad or anything like that, she always was able to raise the team up, and no matter what the circumstance, anything that was happening in her life, anything that was happening in ours, she was able to make us a better team. And we were able to go to CIF, with her leading us in the team. And then from there, we got third place, and we were able to go to state, with that third place win. And, we wouldn't have been able to do that if she wasn't there leading us and helping us get through that. She was a great team leader, a great team player. She really had all the qualities and a really good attitude.
Yeah, I remember her, and she is a perfect example because she wasn't always happy.
Right.
Or you guys had hard times. She had her own personal struggles at home, but she didn't come every day and just throw all that negativity about everything that was wrong.
Yep.
She would focus on the good points and try to,
always.
She's a great example. A great example.
So the fourth point is they have good morals.
Yeah, a high performer will see what is right and wrong, and then they'll also be brave enough to choose the right path, even when it's hard. And they will be able to very tactfully point out when others want to go down an ethically questionable path,
mm-hmm.
and then try to keep the entire team or group on the good track.
Right.
So, I don't know if this goes without saying, but a high performer you can be a bad person and be a high performer.
That's true.
But I believe that a true high performer, the one that everybody else wants to be like, would be somebody with good morals. Do you have any thoughts about that?
Yeah, no, I agree with that. I've definitely met people who I consider very smart. They have high goals for life. They know what they want, but they are not good people. They put others down. Because like for them, how they're going to rise to the top is by putting others down. So yes, they are high performers. They know what they want, but they aren't nice people. They're going to push you down. But I've also met, people that do have good morals. They know what they want and they help everyone. Even though in, the workplace sometimes it can get a little competitive, those are the people that, I admire the most, are the ones that even though, they're trying to get a promotion too, or they're trying to do something, they're also willing to help you rise up as well.
Yes, exactly. And I think that there is no reason you cannot rise up to a leadership level. I mean, there's no reason you can't rise and also take people with you. Why the best leaders are those that bring people with them, help them move to their next level at the same time that leader is moving to their next level. Everybody can move together if the person is a true team builder.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
The fifth quality is they are always learning and they constantly find ways to grow.
Yeah. So this could be things like formal education. It could be like you're going to college right now.
Mm-hmm.
But it could also be taking a little short class. Maybe you just are interested in learning to cook. So you take a cooking class in the evening, or you might be interested in how to use PowerPoint better. So you take a PowerPoint class that they're offering at work. But you can also learn through mentorship. You'll find somebody that's awesome at work or around you and have them teach you some things. And one of my favorite ways is to take on challenges that are outside your comfort zone, which we talked about in episode 1.
Yep.
Getting out of your comfort zone. Yeah. So, and that is a good place to learn, is go try something completely different and just continue to learn. My grandma used to say that anything you learn is something that no one can ever take away from you. And this has stayed with me all these years, and I try to keep myself in an almost constant state of learning. Do you have any thoughts on this, Adelaida?
I definitely agree that if you want to, I know for me, I definitely want to continue to grow, in ways that I do that are, continuing to go to classes at, San Diego State University, or going on YouTube and watching a video that, is teaching you how to knit or how to crochet or play guitar. And those are different ways that I continue to grow. Is I like to find something and learn from that. Whether it could be something that's, it could be free by going on YouTube, or you could, just take a little short class like you were talking about and, learn how to cook a little bit, which I think would be awesome.
Yeah.
And
you could read a book.
Reading a book.
Go find a topic you're interested in and read a book.
Yeah.
I read books all the time. Well, I mainly listen to audiobooks, but I do it all the time.
Yeah.
Podcasts.
Yes, podcasts, definitely. There's a podcast that I enjoy listening to, and that definitely, I've learned a lot from it. So
yeah. There's all kinds of ways. Just keep on learning. High performers always keep learning.
The sixth point is they are a team player.
Yes. This does not mean they go along, it's not the whole group think thing. Do you know what group think is?
No, I do not. What, can you explain?
Group think is where, if a bunch of people get in a room together and then somebody's like, well, let's do this thing. And everybody's like, well, that's a bad idea. And then basically everybody else starts going, yeah, that's a bad idea. We shouldn't do that. They all kind of just start agreeing with each other. Or it could even be the positive. I think we should, start a fund drive for, something. And everybody's like, oh yeah, that's a good idea. But is it really a good idea? So you have to really look along whatever the group is thinking and say to yourself, are we all agreeing with this person for no good reason, or do we actually believe what we're saying?
Right.
So being a good team player does not mean you're falling into the group think trap, because it is kind of a trap and you've got to be really careful of it.
Yep.
But it does mean that they can enter into good discussions with their team and they're able to work with others toward a common goal. So if they want to do something together. Maybe they're trying to build a system. That's like, what I do at work. I'm a project manager building a major system. So we all should be able to work together, figure out the steps we need to take, and discuss them. And sometimes we think we want to change something in our team, or we need to do this little piece of the project. Maybe we're figuring out our testing strategy. So we need to all agree on the steps we're going to take. And so we have to come up with our steps, or we have to come up with our plan. And we know our common goal, but we should all be able to work together to get there.
Yep, and I completely agree. High performers are definitely team players. The last hackathon that I went to, we had to be in a group of 4, and it definitely, you're there trying to work together as a team. Who's going to do, who's going to look up, how we're going to implement this library into the code, and how are we going to hook up the hardware with the software. And we all had a different part, and who's going to present it and who's going to talk about each part. And so it's definitely like taking steps together as a team and working together to get to that main goal.
Yeah, that's a perfect example. And if any one of those people had thought their piece of that whole thing was the most important thing, and they didn't work together with the rest of you, then none of it would have worked.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
It wouldn't happen. We were able to get it to work, and
that's awesome.
That's all that matters is we were able to do that. So definitely.
Yeah. And then if you're a team player, you should also be able to communicate effectively if you disagree with your group. It's okay to disagree.
Yes,
otherwise, you fall into the groupthink category. So you can disagree.
Yeah.
But you got to be able to communicate in a way that doesn't, anger everybody. It doesn't, and also, if somebody else disagrees with you, you have to be a good team player. You have to be willing to listen to feedback from other members of the team.
Yep, and I completely agree with that. And that's one thing that we did do. We were able to talk about what we were doing wrong and what we needed to fix, and we all took it very well. Of like, okay, so we need to be spending more time on this part of it rather than this part. So it definitely, it is good.
Yeah, exactly.
So the 7th and final quality is they see the big picture.
Yeah, this is if you know where you are going, and you also know where your team is going, and truly even the organization, where is the organization going, then you can be a high performer. This is basically understanding your role in the entire process, in the entire organization. So, my Navy story would be a good example of this. If you're just an E1 or an E2 in the Navy, and the Navy's a gigantic organization, and so you need to kind of know where you are, and where your ship is, but then also where the whole Navy is to really, and if you can get your hands around that to some degree, then it'll be easier for you to grow and learn and succeed within that organization.
Yep.
These are just a few of the qualities of high performers. Take a good look in the mirror to see who you are and who do you really want to be. The road to success is going to take a consistent effort and also self-awareness. I do believe you can do this, but it won't always be easy. You must be able to look at yourself and see what you do well and the attributes upon which you can improve. Which attributes do you need to work on? Look around you. There are so many people who are not trying to improve. So what do you see, Adelaida? In your daily life, it could be at school, it could be at one of your previous jobs, in high school or right after high school, in some of those roles, maybe even currently in college, are there people who are not trying to become better people?
Yes, always. I look around and the people I've surrounded myself with aren't like that. I believe that they are trying their hardest to be better people, but I definitely see people that consistently are not going to classes, or I hear during, like, right before a test, they'll say, "Ooh, I didn't even study for this test." And it's things like that where I'm like, oh wow, you're not even trying to improve yourself. You're taking a class that it seems like you would want to be taking, and you're not even really trying to learn it.
And some of those people are going to get by anyway, and in the workplace, a lot of those people are going to get by because they're doing the bare minimum.
Yep.
But if you imagine if they put their energy into what they're trying to do. If they're already succeeding at that kind of a level, succeeding meaning they're passing,
Right.
That they will probably end up with a degree. But imagine if they were really putting their energy into it and really trying to succeed in that area. And that'll be true in the workplace. I really believe, given what the entrepreneur.com article said, that only 20% of people are high performers in a given workplace, that if you take these steps right here and you really focus on them in no time at all, you will see great results and you will be a high performer. I think you are in charge of your own success, so go out and get it. Successful women back in time.
In the time travel segment, each week we will give you a few points about women that have accomplished a lot. We also will discuss a bit about what was happening to women during the time periods. One person we think you would like to know more about is Sandra Day O'Connor. She was the first woman Supreme Court Justice appointed in 1981, and she was born in 1930. O'Connor first worked unpaid at the County Attorney of California's San Mateo region because it was so hard for women to find jobs as lawyers during the 1950s. She later was appointed to the Senate and then, after winning 2 re-elections, ran for judge in Maricopa County Superior Court and won. A few years later, Ronald Reagan decided to appoint her as a Supreme Court judge. She is inspiring because all the effort she put into becoming a lawyer proved to work, and she was not only able to succeed as a lawyer, but also become the first woman Supreme Court Justice. Hard work and dedication will get you where you want to be. You just have to believe in yourself and put in the effort.
Wow, Sandra Day O'Connor. My grandma was born, your great-grandma, was born in 1924.
Okay.
So my grandma, your great-grandma, is only a little bit older than Sandra Day O'Connor. So this is what she was able to do here at a time where it was so hard.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
It's very inspiring, just what she was able to accomplish during that time period. And now we can accomplish that much and more. Everything that all these women have done for us.
Yes. At this time in 2018, basically the whole world is there for women if the women just want to put in the effort. Back in this time, they not only had to put in the effort, they had to do it better and harder, and they had to sacrifice. Like, she was working as an unpaid lawyer for a period of time, and the sacrifices she had to go to just to prove herself were things that no men had to do at that time.
Nope.
So
that's awesome.
Yeah, this is, if she could do it then, the women can do it now.
Yes.
The motivational quote of the week.
The most effective way to do it is to do it. Amelia Earhart.
I think what she's saying is, you just got to go do it.
Yeah. Yes.
If you are making plans and trying to think about what you're going to do and talking yourself out of doing it, then you aren't getting started. It's kind of like Nike. Isn't Nike say just do it?
Yep, just do it. Just get out there.
I think that may be, along with Amelia Earhart's awesome quote here, that the Nike motto is probably the most epic motto that ever was created.
Whenever that first came out, I just thought that was the best motto ever. Yeah. Just do it.
I mean, it's short, sweet, and I really don't even think that we even need to go on about it.
Yeah, just straight to the point.
Let's do this, Adelaida.
Yeah, let's go do it, guys.
Genuine, driven women read lots of books. So we'll make sure to recommend a book each week that will inspire you or help you on your journey to success. This week's book is Getting Things Done: The Art of Stress-Free Productivity by David Allen. Getting Things Done, or GTD for short, as it is commonly called, has become one of the most common methods that people around the world are using to manage their growing task lists, both at home and at work. The theory behind getting things done is that you must capture all the things that are cluttering your mind into one common, trusted system. This includes things for work, home, hobbies, church, kids, and school. David Allen has some breakthrough ideas in how to organize the tasks so that you can get the things done that need to be done at a given location or with certain resources. I have been using the Getting Things Done productivity system for about 10 years, sometimes robustly and sometimes less so. And I can tell you when I am not using it as well, I can feel my mind clutter start to grow. If you use the Getting Things Done productivity method along with a trusted system, your own trusted system, whether that is an electronic app that you use to capture tasks or a paper-based system like a day timer or a journal, you will free your mind for big important thoughts that you've been stuck on, and your creativity will flow. There is a reason so many people have implemented GTD into their productivity process. You will love the ideas in this book, and even if you don't implement them fully, the general ideas you get will make it worth the cost alone. It will turn you into a task-burning machine. So I have put a link in the show notes. Please click through that link and find the motivation you need to get your tasks organized so you can succeed. We genuinely want to know what you're thinking. This is the section where you ask questions. Let us know what's on your mind, or just say hello. Are you driven to succeed? Then email us at genuinedrivenwomen, that's women, WOMEN, at gmail.com, or call us at 724-DRIVEN, the number 2. In other words, that's 724-374-8362, and leave us a voicemail. We will use your voicemails on a future podcast. We look forward to hearing from you. The Genuine Driven Women podcast is produced every week for your inspiration, education, and enjoyment. The show notes and so much more can be found at genuinedrivenwomen.com. Please subscribe to this show via iTunes and Stitcher to receive ongoing weekly motivation to turn your dreams into goals and to reach your version of success. We'd love for you to take a couple minutes to write a review on iTunes, which will help us to reach our goal to connect with girls, young ladies, and women who need just this kind of inspiration every week. You can also follow us on Facebook at facebook.com/genuinedrivenwomen. There you can join the conversation, get to know us better, and find out about all the new things that we will be announcing in the months to come. Okay, ladies, it's time to get out there and be the best you that you can be. We'll see you next week.
Thanks, everybody. Bye.